Ladies and gentlemen, I am excited about this one here because it is a busy evening here on Sportswire Radio, and they say things come in threes. First, we heard about this guy who's jumping, and jumping Jim Brunzell, who talked about his own amazing career in a documentary and a book. And later on, we'll have on a guy also from Texas who's in the Metal Hall of Fame to talk about a brand new album and who was certainly a dangerous toy. And I think I finally got his name right, and Scott Dal Hoover. But this man here, the man of the hour. When you think about promo wrestling, the mothership is TPW, our WWE. And this man, a busy man. You want to talk about people being busy. People say, I'm busy. This man is the definition of it. When I would look in the dictionary, the definition of busy, this is the man right here. He almost seemed annoyed when he was reading off those Thanksgiving throwdown results. Boy, I am so glad I'm not a promo artist because he would want to give me the book, especially after this intro. But he's got a lot to talk about here. We're going to recap those Thanksgiving throwdown results. We're going to talk about some new champions in TPW. Plus, we're going to unveil the latest inductee into the TPW Hall of Fame. Plus, I'm going to give something to TPW once again. And I'm going to talk about some usuals that have been here on Sportswire Radio. We'll talk about this guy, Killshot, Mr. Bang Bang. Yeah, we always got to talk about him. We're going to talk about this guy, the psychotic freak who apparently doesn't need freak math anymore. Yeah, we'll get into him. How about AJ Harrison, the Don of Combat? Boy, Rocky, he wanted to throw the book at him after those results. And maybe this guy who's a lover boy. But right now, maybe in a sophomore slump, if there ever was in it, and Dario Divine. Plus, we'll talk about who knows whoever else. But I know that this man has not been here in a very long time, far longer than a New York Minute. It has been too long since this man has been here, and I'm going to make up for it here right now on Sportswire Radio, here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform he most certainly helped build. And I'm going to give him that introduction that he most certainly deserves. I'm going to give him an introduction almost like as if he's running a marathon. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor to introduce this man, the hardest working man in all of show business. And ladies and gentlemen, let's continue this night here in style on Sportswire Radio, the number one global radio station where all music and wrestling matters. So with that, without further ado, here on the Sports Report, number one global sports show, the man that runs the premier promo company in all of promo wrestling and all of wrestling, the mothership, TPW. His name is simply put, a.k.a. Texas Red My friend, how are we doing? And welcome home.
I'm doing good. It feels good to be back on Sportswire. How are you doing, Tom?
I'm doing great. I mean, great to be with you. Yeah, it's been a minute. It's been far too long. It's been almost a year, and there's a lot to talk about. And first of all, how you feeling? I mean, hopefully from trying out for the marathon and getting ready for it, your feet aren't hurting you right now.
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty confident. I picked up my bib today, and I'm prepared mentally to do this run. It's one of the biggest challenges of my life, and I just can't wait to face it on Sunday.
Well, you know what? We're obviously excited for it. We're certainly rooting for you there, and I'm sure that it'll be a lot harder running a marathon than scoring these promo matches and giving a win and a loss. But obviously,
It definitely
a
will
lot.
be.
Yeah, I know. I'm
It
glad I'm not
definitely
in
will
your.
be. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not in your position, Rocky. But my friend Erzin Krivka's run a few marathons, and I'll make sure to talk to him about it. But Mr. Rocky, for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, and the platform you most certainly helped build here, Sports by Radio, talk about what's been going on here in TPW because we have a few new champions.
Yeah. So Elias the Deranged
Yes.
became a two-time TPW champion. He defeated Dario Divine at Thanksgiving Throwdown.
Mm-hmm.
Just narrowly. It was a very close call, and Elias pulled it out. He pulled out the victory, and he is now reigning on top once again. And then Draquan, he just captured the Intercontinental Championship after going through one hell of a tournament, going through from round one all the way to the finals, and he put on a show. He mopped the floor, and I'm excited to see how his reign turns out. I'm excited for both of their reigns to see how they turn out. It's going to be
Mm, you
amazing.
know, I want to talk about Elias the Deranged Chef because this was certainly simmering and Dario Divine and I don't want to say that the downfall of Dario Divine has happened yet, or I'm using the term sophomore slump, but it seems like since a few weeks ago when this guy AJ Harrison, the Don of Combat, was going to be a topic, I'm sure, certainly in a few
Hmm.
minutes, had come on here and maybe pondered some questions to Mr. Divine. And since then, Mr. Divine, last I checked, has lost not once but twice. And we've seen what's going on in the Enterprise. Jerry May has had to come back, and I don't know if it's because of AJ Harrison or not, but it seems like right now Dario Divine. I mean, he's definitely hit a wall here, which it seemed when I had him on, and even when Mr. Harrison was on for the first time a few weeks ago, I don't think anybody would have expected. But going into 2026, Dario Divine right now in the Enterprise, well, to quote Tom Petty, well, they seem to be free falling.
Well, that's a good point. I mean, two losses since being on Sportswire, lost his TPW championship. Comatose had to take a step back, so Jerry Main's having to come out of retirement and lace up the boots again. It's going to be interesting to see how they finish off 2026. I think Dario and Jerry are they're going to surprise everybody, and especially Dario. Dario's a hard worker, hard
No,
worker, and
I mean, but how could he
I
surprise
don't think this
anybody
is
at
a
this point?
sophomore. I don't think this is a sophomore slump.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that this might be a time to how do you say, adjust without having Comatose around,
Yeah, I
at
mean, in
least until he comes
baseball,
back.
yeah, I mean, look, in baseball, they always say the first time around the lineup, the pitchers can't figure you out. Then the second time around the lineup, they start to then kind of figure you out. Then it's up to you the third time around to see if you can stick. But I mean, it just seems like Jerry Maine coming out of retirement. I mean, all intensive purposes. I mean, that's certainly caught
Hmm.
people. And then Comatose, we know, is obviously exit stage left at the moment, but I mean, it's multiple losses here these last few weeks in TPW. And, you just have to wonder, how does Dario Divine bounce back from that?
Well, this upcoming week he has Dario and Jerry. They have a match against
Yes.
AJ Harrison and Draquan. They're
I have the
defending their
card here.
World
We're going to
Tag
put it
Team
up in a minute.
Championships.
Yep. Mhm.
This match right here is a great way for them to bounce back, to have to go into the new year, still as champions, and it, we're gonna see how they do this year. I mean, how they do this week against AJ and Draquan, because they're no walk in the park, and it's gonna take a lot for them to retain their championships. And I'm sure Draquan and AJ are hungry for some tag team gold, so they're gonna do everything in their power to make sure that the Enterprise is no longer on top. And I mean, that would be a crazy way to start the new year if the Enterprise weren't on top. That would
And
be a crazy way to start it.
think about it this way, right? And the Don of Combat becomes a double champion, and Draquan becomes a double champion. And instead of everybody talking about the Enterprise, because Comatose has been, as you are well aware of, Comatose had been a staple on Sportswire for a long time. He essentially had been here every month, and from time to time we would talk about TPW and EPW. But if you think about it now, if the way things shape up in the next week or so here, we could be
Mhm.
looking at, well, AJ Harrison and Draquan being the new Enterprise, because they would be double champions, and the Enterprise, well, like I said, it would be in with the new and out with the old, and that would be the Enterprise.
I mean, that could very well much happen, but I don't think the Enterprise is going to be just like any old regular team that burns out after having a great start. You know, every
Not like
team
the
goes
Colt
through
in the
their
past. I
challenges.
remember the Colt kept coming on, and it was this
Yeah,
bang bang. Yeah, you're saying they're not going to be like the Colt.
I definitely don't think so. This team is their team chemistry is off the charts. You know, they know what they want. They know how to get the job done. They've been there before, and I can
Yeah.
definitely see them bouncing back if this week doesn't go, good for them. Definitely
Mhm.
next year, start off the new year with with a rematch for the World Tag Team Championships, or hell, even the World Trios Champions at that, something that the Enterprise has never done. If they want to wait till Comatose, they can go after the World Trios Championships and turn TPW completely upside down.
That's a good point too. We'll get to some people here in the chat. I see some people here that I do want to talk
Awesome.
about. Well, yeah, there's people here, that, and obviously I'll run through. I'll go back in the card because I want to talk about a few things. Obviously, Dario, you just talked about, and AJ Storm. I mean, if you want to talk about a war, this is going to be AJ
Oh yeah.
Storm and boy, I can't wait to see those promos. Get the popcorn ready. I mean, that is going to be boy, this might be as tough as running the marathon on Sunday and giving a winner here. You know that, right?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, I know I'm gonna have a stressful time judging these promos, the hypes, the match promos, because these are two top tier promo artists.
Absolutely,
You know,
yeah.
AJ Storm's looking to win his first his first TPW championship in TPW, and Dario, this is a great way for him to bounce back and recapture that TPW championship, or even the World Heavyweight
It's a
Championship.
really tough match
Uh,
though for Dara. This is a really, really tough match because AJ Storm, I mean, he is one of the premier promo artists, period. I've had him on
oh
here, and
yes.
I saw him once demolish. I like him. I like him a lot. Zach Clark on here. I mean, I saw him
Oh
brutally
yeah.
demolish Zach Clark on Sportswire one episode. And I love Zach Clark, but AJ Storm is like it's like him and Anthony Steele when they come on here. You don't know what they're gonna say. They can go at the best
Yeah.
of them. So Dario's got a tough out here. This is not gonna be a walk in the park by any
No, it's
stretch.
not. I say that this is a very important week for both Dario and AJ Storm.
Good point.
You know, this the Change of Fortune Championship is not just like any other championship. If you successfully defend this title 4 times without losing it, you get to cash in for a world title, either
Yep,
for the
Comatose had
TPW
talked about
Championship
that. Yep,
or the
was
World Heavyweight
Comatose was about
Championship.
it.
Yeah, Comatose has actually defended the title 4 times. So when Comatose comes back, he has a chance to either go for the TPW Championship or the World Heavyweight Championship. And so, it's going to be interesting to see what Comatose chooses, and it's going to see how the next champion that cashes in the Change of Fortune Championship chooses. Because who knows, we could have a potential class of the former champion and then the world champion and then the current Change of Fortune champion.
Absolutely,
It could
and
be
I'm
very
glad you
difficult.
said that because that's something we talked about here on the platform. And obviously, listen, Elias the Deranged Chef, I am so fascinated on what he is going to say. I've seen him on here once before on Sportswire. He famously battled a guy, first name James, last name Taylor, and his work with
Yeah.
Dario. He's got a lot to say, and I want to get to a man that's also in the chat who I have been very, very proud of. I want to say it, a man that I have known a very long time, and that is the psychotic freak who even said in his most recent battle with B Smooth, who I've had on here multiple times, that he didn't need Freakman for this one. And he has been very impressive,
Yeah.
defeating Killshot and then defeating B Smooth. These are veterans, and he's
Yeah.
walked right in here. And I'll tell you what, the psychotic freak, I know you mentioned Comatose just before. Whatever Comatose's future may be, I'm sure hear about that one of these days. But I think, and this is what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for that moment with the psychotic freak continuing to get win after win. When the psychotic freak, when the day that comes for Comatose to return, the Psychotic Freak and Comatose. This is a match that I have been waiting for a long, long time. And the Psychotic Freak, he has been extremely impressive. And I am so proud and so excited for this man because I have known this man for 2.5 years. I have seen him on my platform, break into people's homes and steal championships. I have seen him, in an asylum and an abandoned hospital where he lives. I have seen this man do things that I have not seen almost anybody in our sport do, and he has just been off to quite a start.
Yeah, he's coming in hot. He's on a 2-win match streak, and this week's another important week for him. This is a test to see how he does against his opponent. When Comatose comes back next year, the matchup is very potential. He has an entire month to train for this if he really wants to go against Comatose, because Comatose, that's a different animal.
I know, Comatose is an AJ Storm type. I got that.
Yeah, yes, definitely. And so the Psychotic Freak's going to have a lot to work with. He's going to have to really be careful on what he says against Comatose, because you can't just say anything to Comatose and expect to win. Comatose will twist your words and turn it back on you, and he'll basically mind fuck you in a way.
But he's on it right now. The Psychotic Freak is motivated. He's focused.
Definitely.
And I've seen this man. He's one of these guys that has made the transition from being in wrestling, being in that ring, to now being here in TPW. And so far, I mean, to quote a band I have coming on here in the next week, Megadeth, so far, so good. And if he continues his way with Comatose, so what with Comatose and what he says? Because right now, the Psychotic Freak, it just seems to be so far, so good.
Yeah, definitely. It seems like he has good spirits. He's getting the hang of what TPW is.
Yes.
Eli Bowman is another up and comer, a rising star in TPW.
Absolutely.
And I say this right here will be one of the most hardest matches of the Psychotic Freaks career here in TPW so far.
Yeah,
Eli Bowman is a great rookie. He's very creative, and I'm looking forward to this match. This right here, if he gets the win, that's going to put him, really up high for the Rising Stars Championship. Same goes for Eli Bowman. If he wins this match against Psychotic Freak, that can definitely help him earn a championship opportunity down the road later this month.
Absolutely. We'll say hello to everybody here in the chat. I want to say hello to some people, and we'll get to some of the usuals. And then the man that has always been a topic on here, another usual on Sportzwire, that is Killshot, who's also been going back and forth, literally bouncing from in the ring and here in TPW and other places. And the Psychotic Freak, who I mentioned, defeated Mr. Bang Bang a few weeks ago. That was his Bang Bang of a debut, and there is Killshot in another big match.
Yeah, so Killshot, he needs this win. This is a great opportunity for him to bounce back especially against Alexander Clancy, who's coming off a loss, to Maxwell Mangione.
Yes.
So if Killshot could run the table and win the Change of Fortune Championship, this would work. This would do wonders for him. And he's put in a lot of work, out of in the ring, out of the ring. And it's starting to show, but he needs to be more consistent with it. And I think that's his problem. When he gets more consistent, he's going to start picking up W's after W's after W's after W's. And it could start, this week.
Well, we're going to find out, because I think it is a big must win for Killshot. I definitely agree with that. I want to run through, another guy you had some things to say for. Well, against yourself, actually. I mean, I have to go with you next, because you're in action, and hopefully, for your sake, you'll run through your opponents like you're going to run through the marathon on Sunday.
Well, that's the goal. Hopefully, these two competitors of mine, opponents, they've had a lot to say over the past few weeks, and I've been taking notice. I have been taking notice of them slightly calling me out. So I decided, you know what? I'll give them Texas Red. They want me, they got me. So I want to see what they can do. I'm very confident that I can beat Jahil and Yonder Demon, but most importantly, I want to see what they can give to me. What kind of creativity they're going to come up with, what kind of words they're going to come up. Is it just going to be the same old promos that they usually post, or are they going to do something different? Are they going to surprise me? So this is a test for them, and I'm curious to see what they come up with.
That's a good point. That is a really good point, and I think that it's going to be a great match. And I also want to point out that hype promos are due by Monday. So you have Monday,
Yes.
11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time, which would be Tuesday my time, 12:59 a.m. And match promos are due the next day, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So I can't wait to see some of those promos. And I think it's Dario and I think AJ and I think the Psychotic Freak have me as collaborators. So I get to watch those firsthand. Very excited about
Hmm.
those. Let's run through some names I'm excited about. And Elliot Creed's another one that has always got my attention. And certainly, you want to say anything about this match?
Yeah, so Elliot Creed was on a roll. He
Yes.
was in the Intercontinental Championship tournament as well. He actually went to the finals to
I
go against Drakewan,
was
and
gonna say
he almost won. He
you
he
were like
almost came up with the
you.
victory.
I was listening to what you had to say about it, and you really didn't want to pick a winner, but you had to.
Yeah, there's a lot of times where they'll give me a hard time choosing, and I hate to choose just one because everyone puts in a lot of work, a
Sure,
lot of
absolutely.
passion, and you can see it. And it sucks that I just have to choose just one, but
Right.
I got to be the bad guy and I got to choose the best promo overall. And unfortunately, it wasn't Elliot Creed's week last week, but this right here, this tournament is a great way to bounce back. He's going against Trey Cross, another up and comer, another rising star here in TPW. Trey Cross is, he also needs this win because he just came off a loss to the family for the World Trios
Yes.
Championship. So there's a lot of people in this tournament that could really use a win this week, could really use winning the Change of Fortune Championship to
Well,
really boost their
I
career.
tell you what, as we're here with Mr. Rocky, so this almost reminds me of NFL Week 14 matchups this week. You got Bears
Definitely.
and Packers. Some of these matchups here, you got teams that need must-win games, and it's almost kind of like this way in TPW this week, which is why we're excited to be talking TPW once again, and we've been very excited talking once again on Sportswire these last several weeks about promo wrestling. And Tommy J's are the guy that you've had some things to say about. He's another rising star. What has caught
Yes.
my attention a little bit.
Yes. Tommy J is very new.
Yes,
Not even a month old in TPW, and he's already caught my eye. He's already caught a few of the people in the locker room's eyes. He has a bright future. The way he keeps going, the way he presents his character, he has a bright future, and I have no doubt about it. If he picks up a victory against Mikey this week, he's going to be in the running for the Rising Stars Championship, and I mean that alone could really help his career, and really it will just shine a complete spotlight on Tommy J if he can defeat Mikey this week and can win the Rising Stars Championship at the end of this month.
that's a well stated point, but it's not going to be easy for him. And
No,
and
it's not.
we talked about the trios champions, and we talked about Elias and Range. After we talked about Dario and Storm, and what needs to be said there has already been said. And then I want to bring him up because he's here in the chat right now. Our world
Hmm.
heavyweight champion Maxwell Mangione against DTG, who AJ Harrison and him. I mean, you could feel the personal animosity between those two.
Oh yeah.
And here is Mr. Mangione. I know he's here in the chat. We're gonna try to get him on here before the month is out, and talk to me about what we can expect here coming up.
Well, DTG almost. I mean, he was just right there. Almost picked up, the United States Championship for a second time.
Right.
Unfortunately, it didn't go his way. So,
Mm.
I figured he had a great first, run as United States champion. It lasted for about 4 or 5 months. So I figured, you know what? Let's see what he's going to do against the world champion. Let's see how he's going to do. Let's give him a shot, and let's see what he can do. Let's see what kind of magic DTG can bring to this match. Because Maxwell, he's been a great champion. Not only
Absolutely.
a great not only just a great world heavyweight champion, but a great intercontinental champion. I mean, he never lost the title. Of course, he had to give up one of the titles because it's TPW rules. You can't hold two singles titles at the same time, and so he decided to vacate the Intercontinental Championship and take on the World Heavyweight Championship. But you know what? The message that he brings, it still stays the same regardless of the belt, and it's showing. He just defended his World Heavyweight Championship last week against
Yep.
Alexander Clancy,
Yes,
and
we talked
he
about
won that
Alexander
match
just
pretty
before.
easily.
Yep, we talked about that just
He
before.
won that match pretty good.
But DTG is
Uh,
gonna certainly look to be after his definitely personal loss to AJ Harrison, the Dawn of Combat. He's gonna certainly look to do what he can to make it as tough a matchup as possible for Maxwell Mangione.
Oh, definitely. I mean, DTG, he's a top competitor here in
Sure.
TPW, and so I have no doubt about that. This match is going to give me a very hard time on choosing a winner. Um, it already has. I mean, Maxwell already posted his hype promo,
Yes.
so I mean that alone, this shows that this match is going to be just absolutely great to watch.
Yep, and we love watching all of them, and we want to make sure everybody follows TPW first of all on Instagram. We'll get to some people here in the chat. I know we want to give TPW some things, and we'll certainly have some surprises. I'm sure. Also, he has an announcement, Rocky, as well when it comes to the TPW Hall of Fame. But if you can, please go out there and follow TPW on Instagram. TPW is the mothership, and and now I should probably remind you about this before we get to the rest of the card. There was talk last weekend, when the Dawn of Combat, AJ Harrison was here, and and Dario Divine, the back and forth about who has been responsible for TPW's record and rapid growth and the engagements. It was 35,000 plus in the last 30 days, and I'm sure it's exceeded that since then. And I don't want to put you on the spot, but I want to reiterate. It has been everybody in TPW that has helped contribute to this record growth in TPW.
Oh yeah, most importantly, I think the past 30 days now, it's been 37.7K now. So
Amazing.
it's going up, it's going up. The match cards for the past 5 weeks consecutively have hit 1K views or more. The promos are getting viewed out the ass. Excuse my language.
No, you can say it on here. We had Jim Brunzell on, and he was throwing a few bombs, and my guest after you was throwing some bombs, so it's okay.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. I just don't want to throw too many. That's all.
That's okay. You're not. You can throw them.
But yeah, everyone that's in TPW, they're responsible for the record growth. I mean, every week, there's always something going on, always something exciting.
I
The
just
promos are
love though.
great.
I gotta
The
tell you,
vibes
and
are great.
I know I'm gonna be biased, but I love seeing guys like the Psychotic Freak, a guy that I know, make a transition to come into the promo world. I love getting introduced by seeing guys like the Dawn of Combat, AJ Harrison, Dario Divine has caught my attention. Elias the Deranged Chef, another guy catches my attention. He's the champion. AJ Storm, I've been paying attention to extra lately these last few. Even though I've known AJ's been on here. Kill shots, Mr. Bangman. But I don't know what it is. But I love it. I may be biased seeing guys that I have seen on this platform and seeing them, just in the forefront. I think to me that's what's great. I think it gets people going.
It definitely does. Yeah, I mean, seeing people transition from the wrestling world to the promo world,
Comatose
it's
did it,
different.
obviously, famously.
Yeah.
Comatose did it earlier. Yep.
Oh yeah, Comatose did it. He has, I say, besides Anthony Steele,
Yeah.
he has been one of the best people that has smoothly transitioned into the promo wrestling community. He's fitting no problem. He found his spot. He knows where he belongs at. And
yeah, I mean, Comatose was
it
like
shows.
such a natural when he made the transition at the beginning of the year. I mean, he made such a natural transition. I mean, I was just, I all of a sudden would see him on the match cards, and then like to where he was. I mean, obviously we know his situation, but I mean, I was just, amazed. Like you said, there's Anthony Steele and then there's Comatose that just made that transition seamlessly. I mean, but the Psychotic Freak is working on it. The Psychotic Freak, he's working on it.
He is. He's coming in hot. Not a month old just yet in the company, so he's still got a long ways to go.
He does have a long way to go.
He has all the mental. He has all the momentum right now,
and
he can go towards the stars at this point. It's just up to him.
I know we're gonna get to people in the chat in a minute, but I just want to say I would love for you, Rocky, and I know I brought it up about 10 minutes ago. I would love for you to be the guy in your company to host that match, to be the first one Comatose versus Psychotic, because they've talked about it in the backyard. They've talked about it in the underground. They've talked about it in the ring. They've talked about it on the ground. They've talked about it in a trampoline in the past. They've talked about it on here. But I just think for business, would be best for business, and I hope that would be the case, would be in TPW. Comatose versus Psychotic Freak. I'm just saying. I just think, to me, that would be where it should be. It's got to be. There can't be, to quote one individual that comes on here that worked in your company, there can't be no other way than in TPW. Comatose versus Psychotic Freak, round 1.
It could definitely happen. I mean, Psychotic Freak has an entire month to
Yes, he
really
does.
work on his skills, to really tone his skills. Comatose, I'm sure he's going to be looking to make an impact the second he comes back.
Yeah.
And who else would be better besides the Psychotic Freak to come
Because
back
the
to?
personalness, it's been here. They've talked about,
Hmm.
listen, in his own company, right? Just to give you a backstory, the Psychotic Freak, who didn't even work in Comatose's organization, all of a sudden blurted out Comatose's name for whatever reason. Just blurred and called him out.
They've been talking in the group chat before too, so
I've heard.
there's definitely animosity between the two,
Yes.
and I'm sure when Komatos comes back, that may be his first target. I mean, it would be a great target, and it would be a great challenge for the Psychotic Freak, and
Yes.
it would be a really great match, a great showing, and I know these two would have some of the best charisma I've seen on the mic against each other. The
Absolutely.
Psychotic Freak with his freak math and the way Komatos can twist your words and use them
But he
against
didn't
you.
need to
You
use
know,
it. He said, I don't need
no,
freak
he
math in
didn't.
this one.
Yeah, I saw that against Be Smooth, and I was like, damn, he just belittled Be Smooth like that because he doesn't. He said, I don't even need it. He's like, give me someone better, practically. And it's like okay, it's like I like what he's doing with this character, and it's really good.
And I gotta mention this one. We're gonna get to the chat afterwards, because I got,
Of
Devin.
course,
By the way, Devin Adams is another guy that has been here many times, and he's also one of those guys that has most certainly gone back and forth in the
yeah.
wrestling and the promo wrestling world. I mean, he is truly a man, also in his own league, and I had to throw out here this match in a 7-man elimination chamber match for the number 1 contendership for AJ Harrison's championship.
Yeah, so these people right here, either are coming off suspensions or they're coming off, multiple losses in a row, and this is a way for them to change their fortune. That's funny.
That was funny,
No
Rocky.
pun
That was
intended.
funny.
No pun intended. But this match right here is it's just to help them get their spirits up.
Right.
This is a great opportunity to get right back on track for all 7 of these competitors. Devin Adams hasn't held TPW gold in, my God, quite some time. It's been
Yeah,
at
Devin
least
talked about that when he
four or
was on
five
Sports.
months.
We knew he was on at the time, he was on the farewell tour, and he wanted gold in
Yeah,
TPW. That was brought up.
yeah. So it's been a long time since it's been a long time since any one of these people have held gold. Darkness is the only champion. Darkness is the only champion here, and it's been a while since he's held singles gold too. So a win here could really change their trajectory of their career.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm excited about that. Obviously, KSK is another name that we've talked about here quite a bit in the past. There is that guy named Gunshot that obviously people have opinions on, and AJ called him Flower Pot
Mhm.
when he was on
Yeah.
here, and he obviously would like a win, and Be Smooth we spoke about recently, so it's going to be another one of those tough matches, but we'll certainly find out. Let's get to the people here in the chat. They want to talk to you.
Okay. Yeah.
I know you have an announcement. I want to give TPW something, so let's do that here on a busy evening on Sports Radio. Zilla is here first. Thank you, Zilla.
Hi,
I saw
Zilla.
Zilla earlier with Jumpin' Jim Brunzel. And speaking of people passing information along to Coleman, which is okay. He's a very good friend of the show and a good man. Mr. Blade himself, who's getting ready for his own return to the ring. Wanted to say, how's it going? Hey, good to see my friend Blade. How you doing? Hello to Rocky. Camo Cam from the IMF. Thank you, Camo. Camo will be tuned in on Monday's show, and the Prophet Jordan Crowley will be here. Thank you, Camo. Hello, twice. I appreciate two for the price of one. And there he is. Well, management is here. Well, I think it's management. Well, actually, it's management speaking on behalf of the Psychotic Freak versus Gunshot. I guess I didn't know the Psychotic Freak had took over the LBYW YouTube channel, but there it is. And the Psychotic Freak versus Gunshot. And Gunshot has some, weird history out there in the backyard. I'm not going to regurgitate that, but there is some of that involving LBYW, and the Psychotic Freak wants another win under his belt, I guess, from his vantage point, but he wants you to book it. But right now, the Psychotic Freak has to focus on Eli Bowman.
I would say focus on Eli Bowman first. This isn't just any regular challenger, Psychotic Freak. If you want Gunshot, I can totally give you Gunshot next week or the week after. But I would really focus on Eli Bowman because Eli Bowman is, like I said, another rising star in TPW, and
Absolutely.
he wants this W just as much as you do, if not maybe even more. Especially after coming off a very hard loss against the family. He was almost there to get gold. And
Eli's definitely going to be. I definitely agree with you. I think Eli is going to be a worthy opponent. I definitely think that Eli is going to go out there and he's going to want a W. That I completely agree with you on here. But I know that there's definitely some personal things there. With that Mr. Anarchist Gunshot and the Psychotic Freak, and I think that would certainly be an entree match for him for what I've been talking about here on and off, which is certainly. Comatose and the Psychotic Freak, but hit the sub button for Mr. Freak's company, our friends in LBYW. Give them a sub. Great guys. And actually, the reason I plug that is because Sunday night we have on the Alpha. The Alpha is the LBYW champion, and he is certainly a comrade or a brother, you might want to say, of Mr. Freak and the Reapers. And there you go. So hit the sub button for them. Let's get to some more comments. And surprise, surprise. Also, speaking of people that we knew would be here, the Dawn of Combat and the Tag Team Championships with me this week. And
Hello,
he's lost 3 weeks ago. I thought it was 2 in TPW, though. Wasn't it two losses in TPW? And then 1 was in EPW, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. I was looking TPW reference, but thank you, AJ Harrison. And he says it'll be 4. Well, 3 in TPW coming up. But so his comment to you, we'll have a bunch of them here. So Rocky, this is presidential reporter AJ Harrison here, and I just wanted to know, how does it feel to have new tag team champions? Well, the promos and hype matches haven't been released yet.
Well, the results haven't even been made. I don't know who's winning. I like the fact that you're that confident to already say that there's going to be new World Tag Team Champions, and that's the kind of confidence I love to see on my superstars. Because I don't want my superstars thinking that they're gonna, come into this match to lose. That's not the kind of mindset to have. And so I know Draquan and AJ, they're gonna have a really great hype promo and a really great match promo, and that's going to be one hell of a match. But to say that there might be new World Tag Team Champions. That's hard because the Enterprise, they've been on a roll, defending those World Tag Team Championships, and it's not going to be easy to take those tag team championships away.
We know Jerry Mayne is going to be under a lot of pressure to go out there and show everybody he's still Jerry Mayne. AJ has talked a lot about that. AJ has talked a lot about Jerry Mayne. Jerry Mayne, here on this platform, he talked about how he was to the side and he didn't want to get involved. And then we saw what happened with Comatose. Now he has to. Now we've seen the struggles with Dario Divine. So, sometimes they always say, be careful what you wish for to play the other side of it. You could look at it from that vantage point.
Yeah. Jerry, he's coming back. He had a match.
I've met Jerry in real life. I know what Jerry's about. I've met the man in person.
He's a real deal. And he's been out of action for quite some time now. And so it's going to be interesting to see how he does in this tag team match, especially for the it's for the titles and everything. So there's a lot of pressure on both Dario and Jerry. To retain, especially for Comatose, because he was really holding it down for the entire group.
And
And
Comatose
so,
talked about that he was putting himself in that crash collision course with him and ultimately Dario, but we know that those things didn't happen for multiple reasons inside and outside TPW.
mhm.
So we'll get to some more comments. Thank you, AJ. That change of fortune championship is going to be mine. Well, we talked about who he's going to get through first. That is AJ's,
Yeah,
and we know that Dario is back on Sportswire next weekend. He's gonna have a lot to say. I think he
ooh,
might have a lot to say sooner than that.
definitely got to be there for that.
No, well, I think people will. No, AJ Harrison since I showed up. Surprise, surprise. There we go. See, AJ's here. Yeah, they've
I'm
had it
here.
kind of
Yeah.
back and forth here on Sportswire. Still alive, but not for long. Rocky, it's PJ hoping to get back into TPW in January. Yeah, PJ showed up in my stream earlier before we were on the air, so he wants to show up, and I'm sure you'll figure that
Mhm.
out in
Hello,
2026.
PJ.
Yes, thank you,
Well,
PJ.
just shoot me a message.
You're funny. Am I? You mentioned a certain main event that you said should come back to TPW. I wonder who. We talked about Jerry Main, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of people I want to say hello to, also on TikTok, by the way, I've become friends with once again the legendary Doc Holliday. Wanted to say hello to everybody. Thank you, Doc. Doc is big on TikTok. Thank you.
Thank you, Doc.
Everyone seems to be on TikTok. And also, I don't book the matches. It breaks my heart. I have to take the tag titles, but it's not personal. That's an AJ line. It's just business. But as I
Yeah.
stated, Maxwell Mangione is in the house. The world heavyweight champion is here. And if
Hello,
it helps,
Maxwell. Welcome.
they're having quite a back and forth, and I'm sure there'll be more of it to come.
The animosity is hot between these two. I
I
don't
well,
see
I've
no
had
doubt about
some.
maybe a one-on-one match against these two
You
competitors.
know what? What a head!
One
Let's
day.
think about a card. You could have on a card AJ Harrison versus Dario Divine, and then Comatose and the Psychotic Freak. Think about that. I mean, what that would do for business. I mean, tune in to watch Texas Red
That would
versus
blow the roof off.
that. AJ Harrison has said this on Sportswire multiple times about Jahil, the Gerber baby.
Yeah, the Gerber baby. Yeah,
I don't know
I
if
mean he
I'm
was
gonna.
going off on the locker room chat.
Well, that's
Sending
why I'm not in the locker
Gerber
room.
jokes and Gerber
Yeah.
photos, and it was funny. It was funny.
Well, it reminds me of when I remember when my brother was a baby and my mother would feed him Gerber food. Who's not a lot here watching this, thank God. Thank
Yeah,
God. But nevertheless, I am the most watched and longest tenured champion in TPW right now. We'll have to see. Good points. Hit the follow button on
definitely true.
TPW on Instagram. Yep, absolutely. DTG is small fries. Obviously, confidence is a good thing. Confidence is key.
Confidence, yeah, good. That's great
Mr.
confidence from
Mr.
Maxwell.
DTG, the discount tough guy.
Discount so good.
And
DTG gets a lot of shit, but he's great at what he
he's a fact.
does,
No,
and
DTG is a good guy. I like
he's
DTG. He's
he's
all right
definitely
buddy.
someone that you need to look out for.
Yeah,
Because
I
on
like
any given week he can beat you, and
absolutely no. He's definitely not other people that didn't show up to TPW this week. All I want to do is make this company mean something again, and to see the response from the locker room, the growth, the enterprise have been the ones that everyone wants a piece of. Loverboy.
that is true. I mean, in the locker room, the comments on the promos, you see it. People
Yep.
coming for the Enterprise. That they want to challenge the Enterprise. They want to take them on. So the Enterprise is definitely just a great tag team. One of the best tag teams in promo wrestling right now. And they have right now they have the whole world in their hands. And depending on how they end this year, they could either regain it back or they can lose it all and start fresh the following year.
That's a good point. We're going to get to the rest of the chat here in a minute, but that is a good point. I used to always say at the end of this year, I'd have wrestlers come on. One of the things I'd always say is actually your start of next year is now because these are
Yeah.
the moments that you're going to take going into momentum. It's almost like in sports, the end of the season, those last couple of games that you
Hmm.
need those games to give you a springboard for next year. So guys that may have not won recently, but they might use this as motivation for going into next season, like a DTG as an example, like a
That's
kill
what I'm
shot,
hoping.
other people, and that might be the case. So definitely any given week coming up here. Yet I have 7 people going through a chamber to face it. We spoke about that. AJ Harrison, definitely a confident man. He's the Don of Combat for a reason. A man who has many
Hmm.
championships because your division is in shambles. Don't make me come and take that. See, there you go. I mean, there's the tension
Yeah,
between
see?
those two.
Floated the idea, and here they are.
But you know what? Good point by Harrison. Listen, AJ Storm. I mean, that is a barn burner. That's almost like a first round matchup that could be the championship game. I mean, that's just how difficult. That's a good point there. That is a very good point. These last 3 matches I've been a part of, or all you care about. Remember all of the other matches I won. Okay,
Honestly, I can see later on in the future maybe a best out of 3 between AJ Harrison and Dario Divine.
I'm here for it.
That would be a great.
I'm here for it, and I would love to talk about that on Sportswire. That's stuff that we love talking about. Comatose has committed to losing to me when he comes back.
Yeah, Comatose, he cashed in his championship, the COF championship, and so he challenged Maxwell. So when Comatose comes back, he has a challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship, regardless who's champion. And so it's going to be an interesting match to see Maxwell and Comatose match up. I mean, that's going to feed families.
Yeah, that's going to be another one of those. Get the popcorn ready and sit back and just stay as
Enjoy the
far
show.
away stay as far away as possible as both guys.
Mm-hmm.
That's Mr. Harrison's point, in that it's what you've done recently, not what you've done in the past. That some people believe that, others don't, especially if you're a free agent in sports. Oh, AJ, if only Comatose were to humble you like a couple of weeks. Now, that was something that was spoke about, but that was just this close, though. AJ still didn't lose it by that much. I mean, some would say that Mr. Harrison, especially, let's just forget how the best match in your career was a loss to Comatose. That's also what Mr. Harrison said here previously. And these two men do not like each other. I get it that these two men may need their own locker room at this point. And you seem to forget, not that they can get one, but they may need one for separation. And you seem to forget who brought you back to TPW. It is almost like all roads go through the lover boy, Dario Divine. That's because with me, Mr. Harrison has made this point now for several weeks on Sportswire. He says he's responsible for TPW's rapid growth. You say it's everybody, and because you are associated with the enterprise. And please follow LBYW. Who else we have here in the comments? Remember, this is all a part of the bigger picture. It's all almost like there's a company with our name on it. Yeah, that's somewhere else. Too bad you lost that to me. Yes, another promotion, but we're talking about TPW today. I'll address that this week. Dario lost to Texas Red, the tag team match.
Yeah.
Then to Elias. That's 3 so far. That's 3 matches. There you go. It's 3 matches. That's 3. Well, there you go. Thank you.
Dario's definitely been on a rough streak lately.
Well, you humbled him in that match. That was the match you humbled him, right? That was the match where you decided that that's a good point though, by obviously Mr. Harrison, because that was a match that you decided Dario needed, and you went out there and you humbled Mr. Divine in that matchup.
Well, the whole point of that match was it was a mystery opponent, and I had somebody to go against Dario, and it wasn't Texas Red. Texas Red wasn't even a thought, but the other person couldn't make it, and so as an owner, you have been put in a difficult situation, and you got to make a decision. Who do I got available? Who's free right now? Who can jump in for this? Hey, Texas Red's available, so guess what? Got to make a sacrifice. And I did it. I went into that match, with very little time and got the job done. And now it's maybe even it's changed the landscape of TPW.
I could see. No, I definitely. It's a good point. No, that has changed a lot because we have an Intercontinental Champion. We know the situation with Comatose. We know now the situation with Elias now as the reigning defending TPW champion. So I think those are great points that you make, and we have other things ahead. And
that was also Dario's first loss in the singles singles competition. So this loss really, I would say, put Dario in a rough patch, but I can definitely see Dario getting out of that rough patch. He's one of those superstars that won't be in a rough patch for very long.
No, but Maxwell makes a good point here. The champion says that make it make sense that he's not booked against the tag team champions this week, and he beat them with Elias. That's his opinion, and what would you have to say on that from your vantage point?
I mean, and that is true, and who's to say that Elias and Maxwell won't get an opportunity for the tag team championships down the road? That's definitely a great point, and they're definitely in the running. I haven't forgot about that.
Well, we'll find out. That I have some more comments. And you guys talk about Comatose like he's the world heavavyweight champion or something. Because well, Maxwell's the heavyweight champion, and yes, he is. I agree, Maxwell. I didn't know who our contenders were going to be. Book it for next week. Forget someday. I think he's talking about himself and Mr. Harrison. I would assume that would be the case. I would assume you obviously will figure that out. But we have. I do want to point out here before I unveil something for you and do some other things. We have matches coming up this week, and I'll remind everybody here.
Hmm.
Well, I'm sure talk about it when Dario's here next Saturday at some point, probably in the late afternoon. Is that hype promos are due this Tuesday, 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. Match promos are due 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on Tuesday, and we've run through the entire card. And if you want to find out more on that card, Instagram Texas_promo_wrestling. So if you'd like to find out more on
Hmm.
TPW and join, that's your way to doing so. All right. Obviously, I know you have an announcement, but I want to do mine first because I got something for TPW. And I want to do this because it's a first. I want this to be a first, and I hope that guys in the locker room will be watching this closely. And this is exactly why I'm not in your shoes. This is exactly why I'm not joining the ranks of the promo artist. And also, I want to put it up here before I get to the chat because for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the first TPW
Mm.
this time goes into the Hall of Fame a second time for community service for all TPW has done for the wrestling industry. So this is a first TPW. You know, we was already in the Hall of Fame, but we are
Yeah.
making TPW the first two-time promo wrestling company in our Hall of Fame. And this piggybacks off Jumpin' Jim Brunzell getting in. This is for everybody in the TPW locker room. Congratulations. And this is for you and everybody else. And we just want
Thank
to
you so
thank you
much,
so
Tom.
much for this and all TPW has done for the wrestling community and linking so many people up and being a great friend to us over the past year. And we wanted you to have this, Rocky, and we wanted to thank you.
It's been an honor, man. I love coming on Sportswire. Ever since me and you've started our working relationship, it's
Yeah.
always it's been a blast. Seeing all the other companies come on, all the other promo wrestlers come on, and give out their stories and what they're excited for and their careers. And so,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I love
I
seeing guys
appreciate
go
it.
back and forth and connect. I look at it like, Comatose was one of those guys that, psychotic freak. And, I mean, I know he didn't show up this past week, but Dante Okara is a man I've known,
Hmm.
for a long time. There's a lot of guys that have crossed over back and forth. So, I mean, I really wanted to, honor that. And, we thank you and everybody else in the locker room, and we'll give this to you, and I'm sure all the guys can take part in that, and we'll give it to you, and thank you for all you do for our sport.
Well, thank you, Tom. I appreciate it.
Now I know you obviously had an announcement of some sort, and I
Yes,
obviously want to pass the baton to you, and anything else you may want to say.
I do. So, I advertised that I was going to announce the first TPW Hall of Fame inductee into the new improved Hall of Fame class. And I am. Everyone's been asking me, who is it? Who is the first person that's going to be inducted into the TPW Hall of Fame? Everyone was asking for the criteria, what they needed, and I gave it out. People asked, is this person going to be inducted? I said no. I said maybe. I mean, they fit the criteria, maybe. But there's one person that's been helping out TPW for the past year and a half that has really put TPW on the map, has really helped out TPW, and
Hmm.
now we've helped out each other. And the person that's going into the TPW Hall of Fame is you, Tom.
No, it's just a joke. April Fool's
It's
Day
not
is
a joke. It's you.
no,
It's you. You are
really.
the first person. Yes,
Wow.
you've helped me. You've helped TPW. You know, come into a new light. You've helped
Wow.
us with gaining other people to come join promo wrestling, check it out, and not just TPW but all these other companies too.
Yeah, I mean,
And
we had some other a lot of companies come on. Well, not a lot, but
you've really
some.
helped. you've really helped expand promo wrestling, and you've really helped expand TPW. By having my promo artists on there, by having me come on here, and
Yeah.
it's been an honor working with you. And I wanted to
Oh,
honor you because you honor everybody else that comes on Sportswire, and
I
so it's
do.
about it's about time someone honors you for all the hard work you do, Tom.
I'm very kind of you. I mean, I'm certainly humbled by that because I was waiting for you to say, maybe Devin or maybe AJ
Definitely. I
Storm or
mean,
those would have made a lot more. KSK. I was waiting for you to
mhm.
say, somebody, obviously on the roster, but I'm
I
humbled. I
am
mean,
going to announce two more people after a certain time. It won't
okay,
be tonight, but you are
okay.
the first person. You're going to be headlining this year's
Wow, I mean,
Hall of
boy,
Fame.
wow. I mean, it was funny. I'll tell you a quick story. We'll say because my hall monitor Justin Parsley, who you've been
Hmm.
trying so hard to get to TPW. Famously,
I have,
when I
yeah.
started the Hall of Fame a couple of years ago, was like, we got to induct you into the Sportswire Hall of Fame. And there was some of the guys in the IMF for the place. I'm like, no, I won't do it, but I'll accept this one because it's not my Hall of Fame. Because I do have the Vince McMahon mindset. You don't go into your own Hall of Fame, but I'm
Yeah,
going to
I,
accept
I, I
it.
had the same mindset.
Yes, I don't. I think I just can't do it. I just, I think I'm going to say AJ Harrison had asked me about it. And I said, well, it's kind of that thing, but I'm going to take this because I do want to say thank you. And I'm glad that the promo wrestlers do come on Sportswire because, one of the things I want to say, and, we talk a lot about All Wrestling Matters on Sportswire. And to me, you can't be All Wrestling Matters without promo wrestling. I say this all the time in that, we love the backyard wrestlers, the underground wrestlers, the independent wrestlers. We've been very blessed
Oh yeah.
with the WWE guys, but promo wrestling is very important too because promo wrestling is something where you have to talk about yourself. You have to be able to talk about your opponent. You have to be able to promote. You have to be able to talk
Hmm.
about what's going on around you. So to me, I think you can't say you're All Wrestling Matters unless you have promo wrestling. And promo wrestling is very important also because, we talked a lot about the backyard, the underground, the independent
Hmm.
wrestlers, and many of them have crossed paths in places like TPW, whether it was
Yeah.
certainly Anthony Steele, whether it was James Taylor, Dante O'Cara, whether it was Devin Adams, Comatose, the Psychotic Freak. I mean, there's a lot of guys that we've seen here in the backyard and in the underground wrestling circuit that have been
Hmm.
here, whether it was in the past or currently in promo wrestling. So to me, you can't say you're All Wrestling Matters without promo wrestling because I have always been a believer that, listen, if you can't talk, it's like, you can't do anything. You can't promote. I
Yeah.
remember,
I mean, you can't present your character. It won't look believable. And, there's a standard here in TPW. Like if you're gonna do a character that you want to do, I want to make sure it's believable. I want to make sure that I, as a viewer, can believe what you are saying. And
yeah,
there's certain people on the roster that give me goosebumps when they do their
yeah.
promos. Alliance of Deranged is one of them. The crazy deranged look he gets in his
Well, I see.
face and
I
his
gotta tell you,
eyes.
I tell you who I be is Storm is pro. He's been
Hmm.
here. I know him. Obviously Steele's talked about him, and he comes from the Steel camp. But I've been watching
Hmm.
Storm's promos these last several weeks. We have a lot of Storms in the backyard in the underground wrestling circuit. There's DJ
Yes,
Storm, Jason Storm, but AJ Storm, he's another one of those guys. Did I stop what I'm doing? AJ Harrison's
definitely.
the guy. I stop what I'm doing. I know I'm going to be biased. But the Psychotic Freak, I stop what I'm doing. Dario, you mentioned the Elias the Deranged Chef. There's a lot of guys that like you said, Comatose, obviously, when he was around. Maxwell
Hmm.
Mangione's the guy. I stop
Yes.
when I'm watching their promos. So, yeah, I'm with you. There are people that I stop. We were talking about this yesterday when the good guy CJ Block came on and, he had talked about, his own shout outs he gave. And one of the things he had said was, well, you always give everybody an opportunity because I
You
am a
do.
believer in All Wrestling Matters. And like I said, promo wrestling to me, when you guys came on, to me, that officially completed All Wrestling Matters because I didn't believe that you can't say your All Wrestling Matters without promo wrestling. And so that's why I believe.
And without your help, Tom, we wouldn't have gotten so many crossovers, with
I
people
wish there'd
coming
be
from the
more.
backyard
I
scene.
still wish Justin
I'm
Parker
sure
would
there
show up.
is. Yeah, I'm
You know,
really trying to get Justin
right now
Parker.
he's not wrestling at the moment. You've got to keep DMing.
I offered him a spot. We were in the talks. We were in talks.
You might have to
He
offer.
was asking questions. I'm not too sure if he's active on
You might have
Instagram
to
no more,
offer
but
him like you might have to offer him like a Logan Paul or a Brock Lesnar like deal. I mean, that's I don't know. I don't want to be his agent or spokesman right now because I'm wearing his
well, I
shirt.
can't give out any free championships. Those are
I
all
got that. Yeah, that's
earned.
why I'm not in the
But
promo.
I get you. Part-time schedule.
Yeah, but that would be great. No, and we'll get to some comments. And yeah, AJ admitted that he tried. He did try. He did. AJ asked me, and I was like, no. Thank you, Dario. Dario is going in the Hall of Fame next week, and he'll get that there. But he'll be in this one here too. And yeah, I pretty much gave a speech. I mean, I pretty much told you
Yeah, pretty much did.
I pretty much did. And yes, we love having Dario here. And please put up a glass. You can do that. All right, you can definitely do that.
Ever since I decided to redo the Hall of Fame, you were the first person always in mind.
No,
that was going to be that was going to be
on.
headlining it. Yeah, I'm being so honest.
You don't think
there was
Anthony
one person.
Steele? You don't want Anthony
There was
Steele
one. Yeah, I mean Anthony Steele's great. Anthony Steele's great, and there's no doubt about it that he's going to go back into the new Hall of Fame.
Okay.
And there's a lot of new people that are making their stops down in TPW. We've 6 years of history now.
I know
with
it's a long
company.
history. What you guys
And
have
so
done,
I have all the accomplishments down, and no doubt about it, Anthony Steele is going to go back into it. But you have really helped TPW just expand into a new light. You're allowing these people who are retired from the backyard scenery or professional scenery, and
I was
they transitioned into promo wrestling, and it's so nice.
But I'll tell you what I really was hoping would have connected was Chase Wakefield with you guys with his wedding invitational. It didn't. The attempt was there, but we didn't connect. That's another one that we had the crossover. Chase announced on here we're going to do this whole thing with TPW and his wedding, which we still haven't even had his wedding invitational show released. But I really
I haven't heard anything.
Well, Chase is Chase, but I really was hoping that would have been where we would have connected. That was really my I was disappointed because Chase is a personal friend of mine, been coming here a long time, and he had this crossover, and there's a lot of guys that would have been great for it, but it didn't work out. Not really anybody's fault. It just that's how it goes. That's how it goes.
I'm always open for collaborations with people, rather it be with other promo companies or people from the indies, people from the backyard scene. I'm always open to collaborations. I won't say no. And if Chase wants to do something different, we totally can. I'm a fair guy.
Yeah, I think Chase is going to come back on probably in the beginning of next year, and he'll announce maybe some things, and maybe next year we'll get it right. Because I think this year different things, landed up. But we are here with the man that runs TPW, the mothership here in promo wrestling. That is Mr. Rocky Texas. But he'll be in action also in a 2-on-1 handicap match. And hype promos are due Monday, 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. Your match promos due Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, and yours truly is in the TPW Hall of Fame, which I'm really honored for. I really, didn't expect.
You deserve it, Tom. You deserve it. You really do.
Very kind of you. It's very kind of you. But we did put TPW in our Hall of Fame for a second time, so maybe I'll have to accept it. But there is somebody here before we signed off that wanted to come on and say a few words, and I'm going to give them an opportunity because they have become a recent favorite here on Sportswire. That is the Dawn of Combat, our U.S. champion, the one and only AJ Harrison.
Yes. Hello, AJ.
How you doing, Rocky?
I'm doing quite well. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Making a little bit of a mess, but I'm excited. And I wasn't going to come on here just because you deserve this and to have your time, let you shine.
No, it's the people's time. You can be here. You're the Dawn of Combat.
People's time. Damn right.
I want to raise my glass to both Rocky and Tom for the platform, like Dario said, the platform that you guys give us to come on and do what we do. If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be where we are. So thank you both for that, and cheers.
Well, I want to thank you guys too,
Cheers.
because another thing I want to thank the promo wrestling guys, especially here in TPW, is I say it all the time. We wouldn't get the WWE wrestlers. We wouldn't get these heavy metal legends. These
Chubby
million
Dudley.
Chubby Dudley's on Thursday. He's going to be here on Thursday night. But we wouldn't get these big names, these WWE wrestlers, these Mark Farner, Grand Funk Railroad, Doug Pinnick, King's X, in about 20 minutes here, from Dangerous Toys, from Texas, by the way, Scott Dal Hoover. I mean, we can get all these great people. Lorraine Lewis, people definitely looked at her.
Raven.
Josie Scott of Saliva, who crossed over into the wrestling world. So we wouldn't get these people. And I say it all the time, without the wrestling community, and promo wrestlers played a role in that. People see that stuff. They see, how many subscribers, how many people are in your live stream. People ask those questions, and you guys played a role in that too. So to me, it's everybody. It's not just the backyarders, the undergrounders that had the big moments, or other guys in the independents, the UK guys that have come on here. You guys played a role in that too. I really believe that we wouldn't have had those names. And another person wanted to come on here and say a few words. I'm going to give them that opportunity, and
Go right ahead.
Mr. Bang Bang himself, Killshot, who was going to be
Killshot.
Killshot's going to be here tomorrow also, because we have the EWA No Boundaries show. But Killshot wanted to say a few words, and
I just thought about something. So,
yeah,
correct me if I'm wrong. I thought I was supposed to be here next time. Why am I here?
We're here tomorrow.
I was preparing for a match.
That's why I wanted to bring you on for a minute or two, because apparently I thought maybe you wanted to come on and get some publicity for tomorrow's stream.
Why not?
Killshot, at least hold on a minute. Killshot, at least be a freaking gentleman and be honored to be on the show where Tom Bryce was just inducted into.
Killshot's been here like 20 times. It's like opening the door. You ever watch one of those? You ever watched one of those shows where they just walk through the door like Three's a Company? Killshot's at this point like in that level.
Well, this is a special stream. So Tom just got inducted into the TPW Hall of Fame. Killshot.
Killshot knows. He was listening.
Well,
he knows.
AJ, you saying I'm not happy to see my boy Tom? Me and him go way back. Why would I be happy?
I'm not saying you're not happy, but when you come in here, like, what am I doing in here? Like,
no.
This is his game. Why am I?
Well, because we wanted, before we signed off, we wanted to say hello, and obviously Killshot's here tomorrow to talk about what'll happen in the EWA, and we're living it, loving it, and we just, before we signed off, wanted to say hello to the guys and appreciate it. And I know, Killshot, you'll be tuning in with vested interest next Saturday, because Dario Divine will be on Sportswire to join TPW in the Sportswire Hall of Fame. Yes, you'll be there. You'll be there. Yeah, Dario will be here next Saturday, and I'm sure you'll find a way on the stream there as well. So just wanted to remind people of that. And speaking of people that are here that wanted to come on to give it early, and you could take, who do you think this is? Now, it's not Comatose, because we know Comatose.
No, of course not. It's Dario.
Dario.
It's gotta be Dario.
Don't you?
Do you want the psychotic freak next?
Boy.
That's the next person.
Might as well, yeah.
Come on.
If he wants a link, we'll give it to him.
Bring
He's
them
in the
all.
chat. But Dario, obviously, we wanted to bring you on for a minute. We're seeing you next Saturday afternoon, and you'll be here as well. And I know you've been the topic of the hour, and just wanted to bring you on and congratulate
for me, Dario.
The topic of the hour, when talk about shining, you've got a bald head right there. I can just you shine off right about that.
Well,
the bald jokes are getting that's way outdated, long time ago.
Go grow some hair and maybe we'll.
You know what? Before you do anything, I would remind you, this guy took down a Utah State trooper. I just want to remind you of that.
I would remind you, Tom, that was probably years and years back, because right now it's not the same AJ Harrison. I can promise you that.
I'm going to plead the fifth on that one, Rocky. I think you used that
line. The only
reason
he's saying that is because he's all the way where he's at, and he's nowhere near me. I guarantee you, if it was a face-to-face, he'd be singing a different tune.
I am pleading the fifth on that.
Aren't you like a couple hours away from me? If we're gonna we'll put that aside for now. You know what? It doesn't matter, because this title is on my shoulder, and the only reason you're in a match is because Rocky said, man, I promised these people a tag team title match, and I really don't have contenders right now. So let me put two of the people I don't have anything to book for in a match for the tag team title.
And you know what, though? You know what, Dario? That just means it's just another division that I have to come save. I saved the U.S. Now that comes
Well, AJ, we're going to be talking a lot about that number one contenders match next Saturday. Dario's going to be on here, and I'm going to ask him about that. I'm going to ask him about what happens and who you'll eventually face. I mean, AJ, is there somebody you want in particular? I know you want Gunshot again. You want Gunshot. That's who you really want.
Flower pot.
Honestly, Tom, for me, it's just 7 people that are fighting for the chance to lose. So to me, it really doesn't matter.
But what if it's a Devin Adams, let's say, a man that has wanted championship gold, a man that certainly has talked about that in the past? And
hold on. You mean Devin from the Stoop?
Yes, that guy. Yeah.
Yes.
That guy.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not too concerned about him.
Is that the Devin that teamed with Draquan a couple weeks ago that you were just making fun of, and now he's your teammate?
Look, like I said, I don't book the matches.
Now Draquan may be inching his way closer to Sportswire soon. Draquan is the new Intercontinental Champion, and that might be somebody we'll hear from. We're going to certainly see if it'll be before Dario. Now, let's see what my schedule is like. But Dario,
I hope it is.
You hope it is? Well, all right, stay tuned. Stay tuned. It's a possibility. We'll see what this weekend looks like. We'll see. Maybe we'll be seeing each other again. Killshot will be here, I'm sure, at some point tomorrow evening. But, obviously, we want to also wish you before we sign off, we want to wish you very well with this marathon on Sunday. We hope you do really well here, and we want to wish you the best in that. And first of many, and I can't wait to see you back on here in January and recap that and talk about anything else here in TPW. But Rocky, is there anything else you want to talk about, or anything else you want to share before we let you get some sleep for the big marathon over the weekend?
I'm just honored to be inducted into the Hall of Fame once again, Tom.
You're welcome.
It's an honor.
It's a great Hall of Fame.
Everyone that
got inducted last weekend, Killshot's in there.
Yeah.
We've got Jumpin' Jim Brunzell, Ravens in there. I mean, we got some really good Hall of Famers. A nice little roster we've got.
Really good company. Good company.
Jumpin' Jim Brunzell, actually, you'll never believe it. He was the first WWE wrestler we had. It was like, you know what? I'm framing this, and he emailed me back. No joke. He emailed me like that he was so honored to be in the Hall of Fame, because one of the things that was contentious for him was that he's not in the WWE Hall of Fame. So now that he's in this Hall of Fame, he's really, really fired up, and I'm happy that I could do that. So we're very happy that you could be with TPW in the Hall of Fame for a second time. And some of you guys are going to be individually in the Hall of Fame next. So that's we're already in the Hall of Fame. So as in Darius,
it feels good.
Saturday. Yeah, that's great. So
I also want to say that I'm proud of everyone in TPW that shows up consistently, puts in the work, no matter what they got going on. That's what makes a show keep running, and keep coming out every week. I promise to give you guys my time if you guys give me your time. If I have to stay up late to make match cards, stay up late to do results, I don't mind it. Because you guys make it worth it. You guys give me challenges all the time on choosing who the winners are, and if I could choose everyone at the same time, I would. I don't want to choose losers, because the truth is, you guys aren't losers. You guys are all winners,
No, yes, exactly. Thank you. Nobody's losers. Listen, at the end of the day, you go out there, you're improving week after week, you're having fun, you're improving your character, you're honing your craft. And so many wrestlers have crossed over, in and out of TPW. So no, nobody's.
Yeah, it's really opened. It's really opened up a big, a big door to allow people from the backyard scene, from the indie scene, professional scene, one day, hopefully, come into the promo world, and have fun. And it shows in y'all's promos. It really does.
Well, look,
and you guys
are one of those guys that's now crossed over the other way. He's been crossing over into the underground. AJ's obviously a martial arts guy. He's got that going for him. An IDMB page. You, Rocky, have crossed over. So it's great. I love seeing guys that have crossed over into the verse. I think, to me, that's what all wrestling matters about. And before we sign off, to me, promo wrestling is very similar to the backyard and the underground in that sense that, we're all, a part of the community. Yes, I know it's different things. And I know that there are guys in the backyard and the underground, more so maybe in the underground, that have their opinions, and that's fine. They're entitled to it. But to me, I look at you and I are on the same page on that. But, look, ultimately the backyard, the underground, and and the pro wrestling community, and to an extent, the independent wrestling community, to an extent, but I think more so the backyard, the underground, the pro wrestling community, we are all in the community. I think we're all on the same team.
We are.
We're all trying to improve, and I think that's what's great. And I think it was a natural to see you guys come on here and cross over, and I really believe the best is yet to come. For the rest of you guys have anything else you want to say, whether it's the Dawn of Combat?
One more thing. To the people that are in the independent scene, the underground, the backyard scene, who joke about promo wrestling, don't knock it till you try it.
Yeah,
it's something that you could really think of. When you have some downtime. Wrestling is all about character work. And then it's like maybe 20% of the wrestling.
I'll tell you a story on that.
It's how you sell your character. It's how you sell your character. What you say.
You and I talk about this all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, and you gotta learn how to tell a story to get that emotional involvement, to really have the audience be like, "Wow, what I am witnessing right now is just greatness." And that's what I try to push with TPW. I want to put on a great show for the audience. I want my audience to think, "Hey, this dude looks believable. This story that's going on right now, which is natural developing, is one of the best stories I have ever seen." And I just wish that the underground wrestlers and the independent wrestlers would give this more of a shot. And instead of knocking on it, because truth is, one of these days they might come down and be like, "Hey, can I promo for TPW one day?" They're going to be like, "Wow, this is so much more different, but it's going to help improve my talking."
I wanted to piggyback off that because about 5 years ago, when I was doing independent British wrestling, and I remember I get these guys that would come on, and it was difficult. It was like having a root canal. And what they would do to try to help their craft, there was a guy, I don't want to get into it, but he would actually go and have them do promo. He would actually have them do a promo class on Zoom. This was during COVID. So, there are a lot of independent wrestlers that I have seen in the past that would really benefit from it. But, look, independent wrestling is a little bit more of a tougher cookie to crack. Some underground guys, obviously, Devin, Anthony, Comatose, others have made the crossover. And I think eventually they want it, they'll do it. And in the meantime, we love that everybody else has crossed over. For the rest of you guys, is there anything else you want to say before we sign off?
AJ, floor is yours.
Yep. So I just want to say one of my favorite stories to tell is how I came across TPW. I was scrolling through Instagram and I came across TPW and I'm like, "What is this?" And I remember, Rocky, I hit you up and you took the time to describe it to me and to kind of just run it all down for me. And because of that, I gave it a shot and I'm like, "You know what? Okay." And I can't thank you enough because you played a major part in helping me build my character. And I can sit here and go on all day long of how I've improved and all that. That's not really the point here, but that has become one of my favorite stories to tell of how I came across promo wrestling and why it's as big as it is. And you played a major part in that, so thank you.
I love that. That's a great
story.
You want to say anything, Dario? Anything you want to say? You gotta say something. You're Dario Divine. You gotta say something.
Tom, you can see it on my face. I got some things turning here. I don't know. There was a message I left in the chat before I came back on here, but I did say you were talking about losses.
Yeah!
It's not the losses that. Hi, freak.
Hi. For a minute.
It's not the losses that matter.
There he is.
I had to let him in. Yeah, I had to.
There's one loss that sits with me, and I can't just. I still lose sleep over it, and I gotta say, it's seeing Jerry Main's hand slap that 3 count. And Texas Red, that was to you. And for that, my friend, I say I want a rematch, and I want it in a steel cage because I don't want anybody else involved. This is between me and you now.
Oh.
So whenever you want it, the gauntlet is down. Steel cage match.
It sounds to me like Rocky's catching stray bullets when really the person who beat Dario wasn't so much Texas Red as it was Jerry. That's a lot to ponder.
Jerry was out of the game for how many months? Almost a full year, and then he was asked to come and referee a match, just don the stripes for a night. I mean, who can you blame, really?
Well, considering that there's a difference between what he did versus actually doing it and being out the game, I don't know.
I think Texas Red would be open to that.
Off that little loss, there's somebody I'm staring dead in the eyes that's been eating me alive.
Well, kill shot. That man is here. He's here.
You,
Mr. Bang Bang.
don't know them.
Before I jump off here, Freak, you got to hit us with the freak math.
Yeah. Before we start,
Come on.
So
My
here's the
man.
math. Eli Bowman, you are walking into freak rules. It's no longer extreme rules. Here's how this is going to work. Eli Bowman, I know you're not here, but freak rules works like this. If I want the alpha to sing the national anthem, by God, let him. That gives me a 900% chance of winning this match already. And that gives him a negative 500% chance at winning that match. Because it's an I-94 multiplier, that gives me a 1,300% chance at winning this match. And then, because I can use all the weapons I want, that's an extra 300% chance at winning. So that brings it up to a 3,300% chance of winning this match. And my God, the numbers don't lie. Freak will reign supreme. I am coming for the Fortune Championship.
The Fortune Championship.
Now,
I gotta say the whole title, change of fortune.
Now, speaking about the change of Fortune Championship. Hey, yo.
Big match there, kill shot. Big
I'm in a match
match.
in this one.
Talked about that earlier.
I'm the number one contender for that match. To my opponent. You just heard a freak math. But I told you, I don't miss when I shoot. I don't leave. This bullet's gone. So chamber's already loaded. Rounds are ready. My dead eye's open. And I'm ready to end this clip in your soul. So ready for anybody in that tournament. I got guns for days. I got bullets for lives. And infamy lasts forever.
You know, I want to say something to Killshot real quick. I put you in my asylum, so it's kind of funny to see that you escaped the darkness that I put you in.
I won't say escaped. I live it.
Oh man,
wow.
man, this is why I'm fired up. I can't wait for Dario Divine's return to Sportswire next Saturday afternoon, and maybe Draquan sooner. Oh man, this is why you've got to follow TPW on Instagram. This is why you've got to join these greats. You've got them all here on the screen, and guess what? TPW in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame for a second time, this time for community service here for the wrestling industry that we know. That's why you have to support TPW, and Killshot's back here tomorrow. You know he's going to have a lot to say, and I hear through the grapevine there'll be some Wrecking Crew members here. Killshot.
You know what, Tom? I might, you know what? Because Killshot will be on tomorrow, I think I might decide to make some time in my busy schedule to just peek on in and see what's going on in here.
You know what? Everybody should be peeking in because I'm sure Killshot and the gang are going to have a lot to say on that. And, obviously we want to thank all you guys. You guys are very busy, and we appreciate all that you do. And hopefully Rocky will see you after the marathon. And we all want to wish you well on that. And then we want to thank everybody.
Well, Tom, if he doesn't, then who's running TPW?
So
he's got to come back.
So always do it.
I think Rocky will find a way. We'll have an AI version of Rocky. That's what will happen. I'm gonna have the AI version.
No AI version of me.
ChatGPT, who won the match? ChatGPT.
Tom,
that might be better for you. You get more sleep. You don't have to deal with the drama from one guy in the locker room, the other guy in the locker rooms. Maybe that'd be a better version for you, ChatGPT version. But
ChatGPT would blow their mind if they wanted to run a promo company.
Listen,
they would be able to handle it.
we're only years away from AI running things. So who knows? I'm not going there, but I tell you where I am going to go. We're going to go here with TPW coverage once again back on Sportzwire Radio here with the next week. Dario Divine's here next Saturday afternoon. He'll join the Hall of Fame. We'll have Draquan possibly before that. But until then, I want to thank Rocky for all he's done for our sport. We'll give him the physical copy of the Hall of Fame afterwards. AJ Harrison, the Don of Combat, our TPW United States champion, one half of the tag team championship of the world. Dario Divine, Mr. Bang Bang, yes, kill shot.
So, real quick, if we're going to end this, you don't mind we end it in like the normal way we always do.
Psychotic Freak, too. Shout out to him as well. He came in. Yes, but
ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is the Reverend Tom Bryce. This is the owner of TPW. One, the only, Texas Red, a.k.a. Rocky. This is the man, the boss, the win, the freak map itself, Psycho Freak. This is the world heavyweight and one half of the tag team champion. You love him, you hate him, but you gonna always respect him. Loverboy, Dario Divine. This is the king of the fucking combat, AJ Harrison. I am the infamous kill shot. This was TPW. It was a beautiful day and a beautiful night. Bang!
Bang, bang. And Killshot will be here with the EWA guys, and the Psychotic Freak will also be tuned in. He'll be a part of Sunday night show because the Alpha returns to talk about your Reapers, Mr. Freak. So I cover all my bases. I'm very excited about the Alpha, what he has to say about you and that guy Comatose. I'm sure he's going to be a topic once again. But yeah, that's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that. Thank you, everybody here for tuning in. If you'd like to listen to Dangerous Toys guitarist Scott Del Hoover, that'll be playing in a minute or so. But thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figuratively and literally with all music and wrestling matters. If you're here on Sportswire Radio, go follow TPW on Instagram, follow LBYW, the EWA, Dario, his YouTube channel, AJ's YouTube channel. We'll see everybody there, and the EWA guys tomorrow night, the LBYW guys next night. And until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. On the number one, Global Radio, and it is Sportswire Radio with all music and wrestling matters. See you tomorrow, and see you soon, everybody.